Now we're going to put a stop to this for this reason. The same group that we're dealing with here today, and there's 3 or 4 of them, they only have one thing in mind, that is to destroy higher education in Ohio. And if they continue this, and continue what they're doing, they're going to reach their goal for the simple reason that you cannot continue to set fires to buildings that are worth $5 and $10 million because you cannot get replacement from the High General Assembly. And last night, I think that we have seen all forms of violence, the worst. And when they start taking over communities, this is when we're going to use every part of the law enforcement agency of Ohio to drive them out of Kent. We are going to eradicate the problem.
On a particular day of May 4th, I walked out with a friend of mine, Norm Duffy, and we're standing on Taylor Hall, which is near where the visitor center is, and I looked out across the commons and students were gathering around the Victory Bell. And so a Jeep drove out and said, "This rally's illegal, go home." And that was very confusing what home was. So I said to my friend, "Let's go down and talk to the students." Just then somebody yelled, "Here they come." And the National Guard started coming across the commons. When they got about halfway across the commons, they started tear gassing. The students gathered around the Victory Bell and also people just standing there. I went up the hill past what we call a pagoda, which is a concrete structure. Down through the parking lot is the Prentice Hall parking lot. And I looked out some distance away. The dorm, Centennial Hall, was not there at the time. I saw a student laying on the ground. It turned out to be a blind student who had been tear gassed. I gave him some first aid, told his friend what to do. I walked to the edge of the Prentice Hall parking lot. Just then the guard had been moving back up towards the pagoda. When they got to the pagoda, we know over 70 soldiers. The right rear echelon or line of guardmen turned and fired. I had been in the Army, so I knew they were firing real bullets, so I dove for cover and was on the ground long enough that the firing went on.
Okay, just stay away. Just stay away. He's a Viet Cong. Viet Cong, stay away. Stay away.
I hit the ground when the shooting took place, and I lay flat, and I remember people yelling, they're real guns, duck. And it lasted 13 seconds, something like that. And then when I got up, I saw Jeff's body. He was on the pavement in the parking area behind me. He was dead. There was a massive amount of blood from his head.
I come from a very talented family. My father was a competitive singer. My mom was an actress/model. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer, a chemist, a doctor. I deal poker, blackjack, and roulette for casino entertainment companies. I run a pop culture blog. I do a pop culture podcast. I'm a businesswoman, and I have a day job in television. You can't deny what comes naturally to you and what you're meant for. Even if everybody says no, it's not on them to decide what you do. And I had to make that decision on my own.
My name is Pasquale, Pasquale. Second name is Tirotta, Tirotta. When I was in service, that name used to be pretty hard for people to remember, so I changed it to Pat. When I came here, I called it Pat's Lunch because everybody knows Pat. I've been very successful with it. But I'm Italian, and Italian people usually name your sons after the saints or after the gods. So Pasquale, and I was born on Easter Sunday. I was born in 1920. Let me tell you something. I used to have a grill go from there to here, okay? Now, I used to buy small clams, steam them. I used to buy them for a penny a piece, okay? I used to wash them, and I had 2 big pots on the fire, on the grill at all times. I dumped the clams in there, put a little seasoning in there, and then to eat them, you know how many orders I used to get? One guy, give me 20 dozen. They're that tiny. Cocktail sauce, ketchup. The girls had to pick it up. They used to fill them up. I used to have big dishes like that. I used to get rid of sometimes 5,000 clams in one night. Yeah. And the guys used to come out of the clubs at 3 o'clock. Guys, they eat them clams like they were out of style. Some guy eat 20 dozen. I was getting 40 cents a dozen. It cost me a penny a piece. And I'd have a bag of clams always ready in the sink, wash them, and I had a couple of big pots, dump them in the pots, put some seasoning in there. They used to steam clams and go like crazy.
Tails, heads we go to London and try to save the Queen, and tails we go to Paris and try our hand in romance. I need a chance to show you that I'll take you anywhere, so call it in the air.
Step right up, now's your time, take your chances. Breathe it in, but don't take it all for granted. And you're worried that you might not make it home. I made you right back here where we belong. And if you keep on fighting, you will surely find your piercing glory. Piercing glory. Save your breath, there's no need for explanation.
The show is starting now. Come on and watch the show. It's about the devil hiring an image consultant, and hilarity ensues. I didn't really read the script. Sit down and watch the show. Do I?
Good evening. I'm Paul Pierre. Here are the headlines at this hour. Many people are anxious to know what will come out of the Dark Prince's mouth when Satan unleashes hell. In a press conference. Also tonight, what is being called by some the biggest and most important concert in the States since the Beatles took over Ed Sullivan, Latin singing superstar sensation La Tigra will play televised for the first time in North America.
Good afternoon. My name is Satan, but you already know that. My job is to bring fear and hate to the world, but at long last I can tell you, I made a mistake. The world's in a crisis now because of my actions, and I thought the problem would fix itself, but it won't. I don't ask for your sorrow. No, I don't ask for your forgiveness. All I want is for you to get out of this rut you're in, so that we can go back to the way we used to be. Thank you. The floor is now open to questions. Okay, you, in the front.
Satan, thank you for your words, but honestly, do you expect us to believe that you're trying to help us now?
Believe what you want. I've been doing this hating thing for a long time, okay? Even haters know when the game needs hating on. Next question. You.
Satan, are you aware that Latin superstar La Tigra revealed today that she has a mole on her neck? And if so, can you comment?
Excuse me?
Tigra, Molegate.
I haven't heard that, and I'm sorry she has a mole.
Satan, are you aware moles can be melanomas?